Prairie Regatta number 3, 49 boats or 45 boats probably. Best sailors in California, best kid sailors in California. A lot of sophomores, juniors, and seniors in this fleet. We got 10 teams out here. Day 1, it's going to start out south wind, choppy, 9, 10 to 17, 18, and then it'll shift west and maybe back off a little bit. We got 2 good first storm days we've had in a long time in Southern California. We might actually see some rain within a couple months. Less than a minute to go. Race 1, Dave Perry Series. There'll be 8 races this weekend. Tomorrow's supposed to be quite a bit of rain. Southern California is the biggest drought that I can remember. Just 2.5 months of no rain. Maybe up here, but San Diego is 0. And here we go. This is very likely in these Perrys that you're going to see some. Sorry, I'm trying to drive here and not hit somebody. Oh, that was the minutes of me driving. Somehow they must have we got a 9 for our team. Weather marked up towards the oil island, right in line with the oil island. Super easy line sight today. If you wanted to get a line sight, you could pick one of those houses over there, those big white houses, and it would help you. This fleet is kind of hard to use a line sight when there's no penalty flag in effect, like a I flag or especially U flag. If you get U flags, everybody hangs back way more and you can use line sight. This fleet's being very nice. This fleet usually historically a lot of high school practice during the week and they're pushing the line and a lot of jumping calls, a lot of penalty flags get used. But this, I'm going to call it, I think this start's going to happen. Kevin and Holman down there, 9307. They just won the 29 or 420 with 18 votes, I believe. 9307. They don't train at 420 very much, but they got 4th in the Perry Series last year out of whatever there was. But they won the Orange Bowl with all bullets. It was crazy. Oh wow, 8914. Now it stays within is right on the line. Yeah. It's a clean start. You can call it on loud here. Yeah. Definitely been in favor. Look how far ahead 8914 is down there. So there you go. In these conditions, south wind right is not usually going to work. It's usually a much less favored thing. This is actually southeast. Anywho, here we go. We're on adventure sailing. Kylie and Bella feathering the main really nicely. They're a 29er team too, so they sail both. Bella's still in Sabbats, believe it or not. Kylie just got out of Sabbats, and they're a freshman in high school. Yeah, look at that. Look at her. We talking about the winners play the main better than everybody else, and look at her. I mean, she was just playing the main, just pinching that guy off. That guy's just caving on her. She's gonna cross 8869 because they wiped it. There we go. Nice work. Here on the port tack. It's kind of hard to figure out who they are, but they're right in there. They just ducked somebody. And I can't get close enough, but the amount of twist difference between them and Fenton was a lot. Fenton talked to him about tighter jib, more bang, leave the main sheet out slightly. But in these conditions, you have to have very strong arms. You have to be able to move the main sheet in and out without moving your body that much. As soon as you move your body a lot, you're probably moving the tiller a lot. So just hike like 80% of your strength and control the boat with the bang and the main sheet. And the crew has to really start working on trust. Even if they get dumped, one of our goals for this regatta is descendant. Even if you get dunked once in a while, that's better than sailing cautiously and heeling the boat over and sailing without the bank. So really ramping it up. Yeah, choppy. Kevin and Holland here. I don't know if you can tell, but they're really a big team. Holland is one of the bigger kids out here, bigger, taller. So their rake is more forward than most people. You can see their boom's quite high. It's all right. Some of these teams have been out training in some pretty good wind lately. I've seen some good Instagrams on teams that have a little more time in this. Here we go. Let's see what happens with Spinnaker. Is there a reach mark set? Race 2. We just rescued a boat off the rocks. Took over an hour. That was too bad. Anywho, race 2. Here's Wyatt, probably 10. What do you got? The ankle biters, 9006 up there somewhere in the top 8. Borelli's 9306 are in. No, 145. They're just tacked right there. They're in about 5th. And I think they gained. 95 was not that far behind them. So they must be going to the finish right now. So Borelli's had a great race. Anyhow, didn't get to film much the first couple races. Probably good, so the video's much shorter. Obviously the wind is more west now and pretty dead. Coming up on race 3. And you are reaching up and down the line. Those boats look like they're kind of beam reaching, maybe barely above a beam reach. Boats coming, this guy's going kind of downwind, so he's got his sails way too tight. I think the pin is favored by a little. So if you're not beam reaching when you're parallel to the starting line, both directions, if you're not beam reaching both ways, then one end is favored. Right now, I think that those boats on port are coming down. 8914 was coming downwind towards me. He was below a beam reach. See, look at him. I think he's below. So I think the pin is further upwind. Not by much though. We got Kylie and Bella. 9310. I think they're not feeling really great. I was not able to get to them. But after the second race, if you've had a couple tough races, we would make a change. First to the rake, second to how we're sailing the boat. We would just change the rake. I don't think the pin's favored. I don't think the pin's favored. I flag is in effect. Yeah, there's Vesper, 2441. Some teams are going too high today. I was able to watch the end of the last race and they're just pinching. They're just pinching.
Down here.
She let go of the tiller.
Race committee, boat 8938 is retiring for the day.
Okay, that was a pretty good escape there. She got outsculled. She's all right.
Thank you.
Outsculled. And she escaped and she got a lane. Now I look ahead, it doesn't look very windy. That guy doesn't look lifted. He's a race going on. He doesn't look lifted. So her leeward telltale's wiggling a little bit. I think she's, yeah, there you go. You're gonna see the jib luff right at the top of the swell. Jib looks pretty good. She could slide her jib sheet up for the mast and pull more windward sheet on. Wow, these swells are actually behind them. These are waves. There's waves, and then there's swells, and then there's a little bit of chop. The wind is southwest, so it just built just in the last 8 minutes back up a little. I wasn't here for most of the second race. This is race 3. And so who knows, when the wind builds, maybe, you know, that guy looks headed to me. That guy right there, he looks headed to me. So if she's smart, she's just trying to go faster than this guy right here. Bella would be looking back every once in a while and just making sure that if they're not faster, that they check both sails, make sure they've got them right, and then try to gaining on those, win that side. Here is Kevin and Holland. They look like they're doing quite well. 9307. And then the Borellis look like they're doing quite well. 145. Benton looks like he's doing quite well. 9006. 307 looks good on the right. He has Kevin and Holland. I don't see many boats to their right beating them. I think they're at third place right now on the right. Borellis are on port tack. 145. A little ways behind. Starboard is not as easy as I thought. You know, I'm going along here, and here's a flat spot, so I'm feeling pretty good. But then you'll see these little swells that come in. Here's a little one coming here. 3, 2, 1 right here is a swell. I'm going up, down. Here comes another swell. So those swells make the boat feel very slow, and you can just panic. And other than, I think Fenton and Steven, their jib is a fraction breaking at the top. I think the jib's luffing at the top a little. Look how patient he is. He's just sitting there, and he's got just a moment ago he was just bobbing because it was such bigger swells. Now he's just got such a good thing. Here we go. Now he gets in the swells, and he just slows. The boat's slowing down, but he's just staying just as calm. He's just keeping it going, not trying to do too much. I think he's top 10. I think it looks windy out here. Darn, I missed that tack. These guys are really light and in hike mode, so if they can get in hike mode, they can just fly. You can put pressure in the hiking straps in this much wind right now. You can just fly. Now you can see how the swell is different on port tack. It's almost hitting them from behind. Like right now, I'm going up, now I'm going down, now I'm going up again. Oh, I'm about to go way up. Ready, way up. So every time this happens, the wind shifts, and you have to get the sail set right. His jib is definitely luffing at the top first, right? That guy right there, his jib is luffing at the top first. And so that just means he could just bring the windward sheet on more, but really he just needs a ½ inch of leeward sheet. So it's not losing power up there. Anyway, I'm happy. I think he's gonna be top 10. So like 9307 is Kevin. I think he's gonna round second. I think the Borellis are gonna round right with them in third. No, I don't think. Oh yeah, Kevin's making the mark. 9307's making the mark. Yeah, Borellis are gonna round second or third. Okay, these are incredibly hard conditions. You can see the swells. Changes the apparent wind over and over again. Oh goodness, look at Kylie Peterson, rebound girl. 9310. Remember, she had a bad start. She got out to the right. The wind had built. And shoot, it built from a little righty. They've had 2 rough races. We didn't change anything on them other than maybe footing a tiny bit more. Just wiggling the leeward delta just a little bit more, steering, and it just gives you a little more power before you hit chops. I almost had her going too low. Oh, Borelli's kind of took the lead. Everybody's full height looks good. Oh, Benton, blue and yellow kite. One of the youngest teams out here. He is probably the youngest skipper, 12. And then Steven is 13, I think. 2 really good Sabbath sailors. They still have like 2 more years in Sabbaths. Oh, here's Kylie, orange kite. Yeah, Kylie and Bella. That's a great rebounding job. Come over here now and sit by the buoy, and it's hard to see the tail off of here, but I'm moving with the wind a little bit, but you can see that I'm moving at 0.2 knots or so. It's just a little bit of current, so you have a lot against you. You have the swells coming from the south, you have the wind coming from the southwest over here, you've got chopped. I think it's gotten flatter. I think the tide changes here. The tide changed at 1:30. The waves outside the jetty are much smaller, so I just think the chop's gone away, so that's at least nice. I think the first race was pretty nuts on the chop. Now, race 3, first run, it might look like these boats are laying the gates. They're not. I don't think 9306 is laying. I think 2441 might be laying the gates. You see them down there? And you see all these boats way over here, so this is indicative of a right wind shift, force right. And so these boats in the middle might gain on these boats because they make the mark. But those boats now are going to be coming back on a starboard lift. They're going to have to jibe, and they're going to be sailing high, and compared to what these boats sailed. So these boats have actually gained more. Here we go. That's Kevin and Holland. The bummer about that, obviously, is now they are going through bad shit. So what you have to do is you got to look long term. There's not much to look at up here. I think the best wind is on this orange kite right here, maybe, but nobody looks good. So, but if you can get the next puff, you can survive going through the madness. The good news is you don't really, yeah, that was a tough deal. I would have maybe tried to stay. I think you're gonna see the lured telltales wiggling on this girl. This is Carly Keating, I believe. Yeah, leech of the jibs inside the spreader. The windward sheet's on. She's in her light air setting, that's for sure. You can see how high the boom is. These guys probably don't have as much forward rake. They do not. But these girls have been doing very well. The advantage of having your mast raked back a little further is it's easier to fly the top telltale up there on the main.
Looks like you're gonna nail your 30-minute.
God, those boats look almost identical other than Carly's raked further forward, which is not a big deal. There's more wind here. She's about to get more wind right there. Here's Kylie coming around and around the top 10 or 12, 9310. We haven't, you know, some of us are doing a lot of high school sailing and we haven't gotten comfortable with our jib trim and making sure we got the windward sheet right. We're going to compare her. You can see how high her boom is. You're going to see her mainsail leech is just going to be stalled the whole time. So we've got to let her rake back a little. That'll get her traveler more lined up. She has less windward sheet on than the other two boats. And we also got to talk about raise the jib sheet up the mast a little ways and then pull it on. She's about an inch further out on the leech. It's a game of inches. It's beautiful. I thought they were doing 2 laps, but everybody seems to be going up through the middle. So I'm wondering if that's the Borellis. Yeah, the Borellis are going to get second, I believe. I do think that move tacking underneath the fleet did not work for Kevin and Holland. I think Benson and Steven are really light. And when you sail in chop and swells, oh, here's the girls right here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Looks like a righty coming if you look at the race committee flags right there. So she looks like she's in good shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Kevin's 5th. Pin end is further downwind right now. See, these guys are having to reach off here, but that's a good race. She has to reach off. She should just fully re-reaching here, because look what happens here. All these guys are having to reach way off, so you don't want to be pointing high right now. Anywho, end of race 3. 4. Oh, 1-1. They're a good team too. I think they just fended off the committee boat. I could be wrong. Look at Kevin and Holland, dude. Doing a moss start.
82.
Oh, darn, that's our girls. Oh, bummer. Now you watch the X flag, because they only called one boat. You can't watch the X flag if they called more than one boat. Yeah, and then he does not have to do that, but that was very nice of him. But essentially, once, you know, one boat's called, once the flag goes down, you know you're good. Okay, so for some of these kids, what we're doing now is we're trying to get them to restart their minds. You know, you can have 2 or 3 bad races, and all of a sudden you're getting mopey. One thing that also I just realized the kids, oh, I already did a video on that. The current is going against them right now. That's why a boat caught the committee boat anchor last race. But there we go. Oh, Fenton got out of there. Now Kylie just went all the way to the right corner last race and it worked. And I'm not sure what Fenton should do here. I told them they should sit forward a little. They should use a little more windward sheet. They tend to have their jib luffing at the top more. You can see the jib's laid all over the deck. So see, that's too much. Oh, that slot's too open. If he trimmed, you see, he's outside the spreader tip. If he trimmed a little tighter, he'd look more like Carly. But the heel's good, tiny bit of leeward heel. That really helps the boat stay going upwind in these sides, kind of stern swells almost. Okay, Kevin, 9307 tried to do, watching the Moth World starts, these guys go shooting across on port tack, but he's had to now tack a couple times. Yeah, it's not an easy sport. And sure enough, these boats on the left just did not have wind. And some good sailors, I mean, maybe some of the Long Beach kids just kind of knew, hey, I'm gonna come later in the day, I'm gonna start at 3:30, I'm gonna start working more to the right or something, I don't know. But I definitely think we could have seen at the light at the left, boats weren't moving over there, probably took in our lumps a little earlier. Yeah, one team's doing well. The Fenton Wallace 9006 is going to come around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Fenton again could be one of our top placers at the end of the day. Yep, our youngest skipper. It's just the Sabot's a perfect boat to train for these pigs. So if you sail the Naples Sabot a bunch, you can be really good in a 420 because they're the same exact thing. You got to just not do too much. You just got to make sure you get flow. And you kind of don't try to hit home runs. Just kind of keep sailing, keep flow. Sail VMG. Be really patient. It takes like 14 knots for it to where you really start to like get really, really physical. Not 14, it's 12. Anyway, pretty heavy things. Anywho, look at that. And I wouldn't doubt blue and yellow is right on these guys' tails by the gate. So he's got a knack for light air downwind too. So let's see. Kevin and Holland 9307 fought hard, went the wrong way and just footed through the lee of a couple boats upwind and just saved themselves somewhere around the top 10. They are good. They are good. Race 4. They might not get another race in. It's 4:05. There's 5 knots of wind, about 4 knots of wind. I'm trying to find where 9006 went. Because the wind has gone about 20 degrees to my side, to the left, looking upwind. So these guys should have gained. Yes, they have. I don't see our boys. 9006. Here they are. So they did not gain on the run. That's all right. Thought they'd gain on the run, but it was a gnarly run. See the outline of Catalina out there. This has been a real day. Adverse current, very choppy and windy early, then it died. But the wind has just come in like 7 knots. And I think this is our boys right here. They have definitely gained lately. So they're probably 5th or 6th. That's a great day for them. Holy smoke, they're in 3 top 15 finishes is my guess, I hope. Anyway, I don't know, it's 4:15 almost. I don't know how they're gonna do another race. It gets dark at 5. They'd have to start by 4:40 and we'd be finish at 5:10. We'd be sailing in the dark. I just don't think it's not this simple. But as you're sailing up to the finish, you're looking at that guy. And if that mark can't stay in the water because the wind is now coming from over here. So it looks like he's trying to pick it up right now. If he picks that up and starts moving towards us, we know there's no more races. If he moves it over there and sets it again, then you know there's another race. So here we go. So they did not move the marks, even though I think the wind is to the left of the mark. So I gotta think we gotta start down the line. I think probably gonna see a bunch of people down from that end. I mean, these guys are in deep trouble. These guys are in just absolute deep trouble. They have less than a minute to go in a lefty. Probably should have just went upwind right there. 2441 should have just gone close hauled, went all the way across. Oh, she's in deep trouble. She is. She's got to get going badly. Yeah, way all this bad air here. So here we go. I just got to think the boats at the far end are going to be able to tack and cross here.
8-2.
Yeah, 8-2 was down at the pin. Watch, you're going to see everybody tacking, and he's got the best line calling, man. His voice carries.
Individual,
He's got a
that's a
great
Rogers, an
loud
individual.
air.
We X-flagged it and I called him. If you want to call him from down there, go ahead. 82, right? That's a Roger, just 82.
Yeah, see, you're going to see several, I think, boats on port cross. One of the biggest indicators that the pin was favored is that every single boat is pretty much on port tack. So I think a lot of people are just tired. It is 4:20, and it is, you know, we're going to be getting in the dark because they're going to finish at 4:50, and then it's going to get dark at 5:10. So yeah, we're probably going to be cruising in the dark. Yeah, the lights just turned on.
Which is Union would
On
probably
the oil rig. Pretty beautiful. The wind went south, thank God. So they're sailing almost the entire time on starboard, and then they'll go upwind. They'll be on a pretty good lift on port, so the race will get shortened up. I don't know if I'm gonna go get through here. I am running out of gas. It's just hard not to video. The skies are just rad.